I have six more renewals.
I got 3 months worth in there, Doc. Okay. And he goes, "Oh, that's right. That's right." So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best.
Well, you're doing
7 days in a row.
Okay.
I take my meds.
Oh.
Okay. I did good today eating. And another thing is water.
Yes.
You're supposed to drink
a
lot of. How much water do you?
All right. So you're supposed to drink
like 48 ounces or something.
Well, what I do now is I get up first thing in the morning before I even have coffee. I drink 2 big 20-ounce glasses of water. Okay.
That's what I got to do.
And it's torture. And then what's really annoying is that the rest of the day I pee. And that's all. Or I look for places to pee. It's unbelievable.
That's all my grandson, 6 years old, I went to the park the other day. He said, "Just got to go to the bathroom." And he went, "Again?" At 6 years old, he was like so pissed. He did the whole arms. Come on. I go, I know. Yeah. So, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
But that's a good idea.
And then he said to me, this thing, you've heard this before. Breakfast, you should eat like a king.
Yes.
Lunch, you should eat like a prince. And dinner, you eat like a pauper.
Oh. I never heard. Okay.
Yeah. So I said to him, I've seen a pauper eat a meatball Parmesan sandwich, Doc. So he goes, "No, you can't." I said, "Can I have a meatball hero?" He says, "Yes."
What time of day? Breakfast?
He's to finish. Without the bread. That's not a hero.
That's not a hero.
Because he said there's breadcrumbs in the meatball.
This is the same dietitian that you went to? What?
I'm not going to blame.
I don't know. I just think that he's
I'm not
a dietitian for people with eating disorders. I don't know if he's a good dietitian is what I'm trying to say.
Because I'm not doing the right thing, we'll fire him.
I don't.
I got sucked in on YouTube last night.
What happened? What were you watching?
Interesting. I'm into this history stuff.
Were you watching Rich Walker videos? What were you watching?
No. Rich Walker has a
don't
rash,
say no so aggressively. He's very aggressive.
No, I have not watched Rich. The history of buildings in New York City that have interesting top of the buildings, like interesting stuff.
Okay, like the Chrysler building?
Like the Chrysler, the Woolworth building, the Empire State building.
All right.
It was interesting.
Documentary.
It was like, I guess you call it documentary. It was like a history show, more like really laid out like a lesson almost, you know, not like a.
This is on YouTube.
Yeah.
How do you watch it? You watch it on your screen? Okay.
On a small TV. Some nights.
How'd you find it? You just randomly?
I just go through and I watch some Met stuff. Then I get, you know who I watch? Norm Macdonald.
Love Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald.
I miss Norm Macdonald now.
Is hysterical. I was not a Norm Macdonald fan.
Oh my God!
When he was alive,
his Canadian speech pattern,
but
brilliant.
Just his silly, stupid stories that are so funny.
So great.
Because
yes,
a lot of it he got out of joke books. I think.
I don't know about that, but
no,
certainly.
I've heard that. I've heard that he told old jokes. It's his delivery, though.
Well, it's his delivery.
So funny. Hey, Bob, do you have that picture that I sent? I forgot to ask you before we went on the air. Of Naples, Florida, firefighter in front of the fire truck.
I'd like to see that.
If you don't have it right now, I sent it to you, but that's okay. I should. So, as we know, Naples, Florida got hit hard by the last storm.
Very hard.
And
Hurricane Ian.
And Laughter Saves Lives contacted them out there in Naples. And we found a firefighter, I'm not going to give out any names, who lost his home, 2 kids, married. And we sent them, I think, a Walmart gift card I sent them. He needed little things. He lost everything. And some T-shirts. And they were nice enough to send a picture. If we don't show it this week, we'll show it next week. So here's what we'll do. We'll go to break now.
Oh, we're taking a break already.
And then we'll bring in, who's our first guest, Butch? Is it Ed or?
It is Nick. Nick is our first guest.
Okay, so Nick Magato will be here from Brothers Helping Brothers. We'll be right back.
If you spent time downtown on 9/11 or in the 8 months after, you were exposed to toxic air and may be eligible for compensation from the $10 billion 9/11 Victim Fund. But most people who qualify still haven't claimed what they're entitled to.
I worked downtown. I didn't die. I was an office worker. I felt like there were others who deserved the money more than I did.
A major reason people haven't claimed the money they're due is guilt. They feel guilty claiming funds when others died or were first responders.
I heard there were 9/11 funds, but because I wasn't a first responder, I did not apply.
You do not have to be a first responder to qualify. This fund was created for everyone who worked, lived, or attended school south of Canal Street, who may have experienced or have experienced respiratory illness or any of the 68 cancers linked to the toxins. Even if you have a family history of cancer, there is a presumption linking most cancers to the toxins.
I thought it was too late to make a claim. My spouse worked downtown at a bank and died of cancer. Honestly, I just haven't felt up to it.
The government's $10 billion Victim Fund and Health Program have been permanently extended. You just need to have been below Canal Street on 9/11 or at any time in the following 8 months. To see if you qualify, call or go to 911fund.com to speak to a representative of Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
There are many reasons people who are eligible for compensation are not stepping up to claim it. To those who are holding back, I would say just take the first step. Ask for help. Make the call. It's not too late.
I called and I qualified.
I qualify.
I qualify.
Millions of dollars remain unclaimed. You do not have to be seriously ill to qualify.
And we're back to Laughter Saves Lives Live with Paul Anthony of the Long Island Comedy Festival. We're having a good time here.
Oh, great time. So great to be here.
That first segment was awesome.
Oh, man, I can't wait to watch it back on channel 115 or
so much good stuff there, people, if you missed it. Yeah, if you missed it. We're going to bring on a guest. This gentleman is from an organization called Brothers Helping Brothers.
Yes.
It's our hero segment tonight. His name is Nick Magato. Let's bring in Nick. Hey, Nick.
There he is.
Hi, John. Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me.
And what state are you from? Ohio?
Correct. Ohio. Yes, sir.
Ohio. All right. So you have no skin in the game here in the playoffs?
No, not particularly. No, I'm a Reds fan, and well, they were terrible this year, so obviously we have no skin in the game.
Next year we'll have to go out to Cincinnati. We went out to Pittsburgh this year. There was more Met fans there than Pittsburgh fans. It was sad. It was really sad because there was like 80% Met fans, and the vendors loved us. They love us.
Oh,
so
nobody works.
It's been a killer year for the Mets.
Yeah, it was okay until a few days ago. But thanks for bringing that up. Thank you. Still a little sore. Nick, now you're a firefighter?
I'm retired from firefighting, but yes, I was firefighter for 10 years.
10 years. All right, great. Thank you for your service there. And you started this organization, Brothers Helping Brothers. You do a lot with getting equipment for fire departments, small fire departments who cannot. Tell us a little bit about how you started it and what you do.
Yeah, certainly. So one of the departments that I worked with was a small rural department here in Ohio, and a friend of mine had gotten sick, and so we at the firehouse started raising funds for his medical bills and things like that.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Just like 9/11, we lost a lot of guys, and I always find it important to say their names. It's just another way to remember them. So what was your friend's name?
Art Springer.
Thank you.
Yes. And so Art passed away. He incredibly of the H1N1 flu. Healthy 40-year-old guy. It was a very sad thing. So what we ended up doing with the money that we were trying to raise for his medical bills, we put that into a college fund for his 13-year-old daughter that he left behind. So we were able to raise over $25,000 in a short period of time and put that as a college fund for his daughter. So after we had that success, we decided that we wanted to do something more and honor Art's memory even further. So we started Brothers Helping Brothers. Art was a passionate guy about the fire department. He even bought stuff on his own dime that we needed. So we're a rural department. We had a dump. We didn't have a dump tank. He went on GovDeals and bought one. Refurbed it and we put it on the truck. So we decided that, you know, this is how we'll honor him by going out and helping those small and rural departments that don't necessarily have the tools to do the job, you know, effectively, but they'll still get the job done. So
very cool.
You know,
Very cool.
We've helped a lot of departments.
How old is his daughter now?
So his daughter is 20 now.
20. So she's
She might be out of college.
just about done with college.
Wrapping it up.
Yep.
That's,
It's been
you guys feel great.
Oh, it's been a great adventure to watch her grow up, and you know it's sad that she doesn't have her dad with her, but you know we've done what we could to help her as much as we can. You know, it's a great feeling.
Now, brothers helping brothers. I was on your website earlier today, Nick. Do you also have a chapter in the Pennsylvania area? Is that still?
Yeah, so we do have a chapter in Pennsylvania. It's out of the Washington, Pennsylvania area, so just across the border in Ohio from Ohio. It's not as active, you know, just as you know, people kind of get busy. So we're, you know, we're an all volunteer organization. None of us take any salaries or anything like that. It's all volunteer based. So you know, it's as you could help, right? So that's you know, so sometimes things get a little stagnant with some of the chapters. You know, we're trying to start other chapters, but you know, it's just been a little stagnant, especially since COVID and stuff too.
Sure. Tell us. I told you on the phone before, and you got to hold me to it. I'm going to say it on the air. Laughter Saves Lives is sending you a donation tomorrow. All right, because I really believe in what you do, and I know how important it is to have the right equipment at an operation. It could save a life. It could make your job a lot easier. Can you give us one or two of the other stories where you purchased equipment, what you bought? Yeah,
absolutely. So a good one was one of our first grants that we were able to do was actually in your guys' neck of the woods, Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. They do a lot of auto accidents out there. They did not have, you know, the proper cribbing material to stabilize vehicles and stuff like that. So one of the things that we try to do is we actually contact the manufacturers and distributors of the equipment, try to work with them to maximize our dollars so that we can provide the most stuff we can with as little amount of money. So Turtle Plastics was a great partner in this, and they allowed us to donate, I believe it was a 60-piece set of auto cribbing to Cape May Courthouse. So that was one of our first ones. It was such a great experience. I actually, you know, we went there and delivered it myself, and the guys took us around in the truck and showed us showed us their district, showed us, you know, where Hurricane Sandy, you know, they were having issues from that back then and things like that. So it was a very heartwarming, you know, experience. So
and being a retired firefighter, the first thing that comes to mind is, did they make a meal for you guys? Did you have a nice meal in the firehouse?
We did. Oh yeah. You got to break bread when you're there, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah, absolutely. It was great. The mayor of the town came. I mean, we had the whole fire department there, you know, when we were there. So it was a really sweet, you know, memory for that one. So
yeah. Nick, I got another question for you. Tell us about the Hero Coffee Club and these products that I saw: Fireman's Brew, Fire Department Coffee, Fire Chief Coffee, Hook and Ladder Coffee Company. Tell us about that program.
Absolutely. So it's one of our ways that we help raise funds. Basically, each month we send out a box of coffee that is either first responder owned company or veteran owned company. So we'll you know, work with different coffee distributors and things like that to send that out, and it's a monthly subscription that people can do. So not only do you get, you know, you're able to donate some money to help firefighters, you get a nice thing of coffee every month that also supports fellow firefighters and first responders and veterans by, you know, purchasing their products as well.
Very smart. I think it's great.
Yeah. We should get involved.
I think we need to join that club.
Yeah,
I want to become a member of that club.
That'd be great.
You should start Laughter Saves Lives coffee.
Why not?
With everyone, you have a laugh.
Laugh and
Every
brew.
couple
Right?
laugh.
Write these are really good ideas. Who's taking notes? Anybody taking notes?
I don't know, but so far you've asked some wonderful questions.
Well,
Wonderful questions.
I'm trying.
Usually Rich just sits there.
No, I do my research.
Yeah. Richie usually just sits there and nods out, and then I'm like, "Hey, Rich,
Well,
you still?" No, we love Rich.
Thinking about his rash.
All right. So, anything coming up that we should? Oh, listen, I saw on the website. Is this still on, or is it was the website old? The 5th annual Firefighter Health and Wellness Conference.
Yep. So the 5th annual Health and Wellness Conference actually is next week here in exotic Beaver Creek, Ohio.
Beaver Creek, I love it.
Beautiful this time of year.
Yes.
Oh, it is the sunny sands and everything like that. Oh yes. We're having some wonderful speakers talking about all aspects of health and wellness for firefighters, mental health, resiliency, PTSD, cancer, you name it. We've got some of the top speakers in the nation coming together to present a really great program.
Marie, do you know all the speakers that are coming?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is Marie Guma coming from Florida?
No.
All right, you should for next year. You should get in touch with her. She's doing a lot with post-traumatic stress and mental health for firefighters.
Okay.
I'll hook you up with her. Would be great if we did a comedy show one of these nights.
That's a funny thing you bring it up. So Travis Howes is our main speaker, and Travis is a comedian as well.
Yes,
and he'll be doing his comedy the first night of the conference.
Oh, great!
Excellent.
Okay,
Yep.
And then next year we'll lock in Laughter Saves Lives.
Absolutely, that sounds great.
All right, because we're going back to Ohio. I know that. Anything else you want to add? You give the website.
Yeah. So if anybody is looking for more information or how they could help, they can visit our website, which is brothershelpingbrothers.org.
Love it.
All right. Well, Magato. I pronounced that right?
You got it. Perfect.
That's a great name.
I love Nick Magato.
I love that name. That you should be.
It's so great.
Batting third.
Right, exactly.
Number 26.
Right.
Playing third base, Nick
Magato.
Listen, we've got a couple of more minutes, so we can keep talking.
No, I think we've had enough of Nick. I mean, come on.
The Magman.
Beaver Creek. I mean, how much can Beaver Creek bring us here? Do you have any other questions?
Well, what year is this seminar that you're doing?
It's next month. It's this month.
How many years?
How many years?
So this is our 5th year of doing the Health and Wellness Conference.
5th year.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I was right. See, I did my.
That's great.
I didn't write that down, but I remember what I. Your website's very good. It's user friendly, and a lot of times we speak to organizations, and your website's very good, and we just love saying Nick Magato.
Butch, do you have any questions since you want us to stretch with Nick Magato? I mean, we could talk about my ringer a little more. Nick, what kind of ringer does Nick have? You don't have fire trucks, do you?
No. I just have the standard ringer that comes with an iPhone,
Okay.
He's just a laid back.
Most people don't change.
Some of these firefighters, they have the fire truck and the sirens.
Oh yeah. Or they got the tones from Emergency. I know a lot of guys that have that.
Yeah.
What is that? Right? See, that's a smart person who has an Android like me.
Right.
I have an Android phone, so I can John. Your ringtone is the song "Fire." That's what I use for you. You've heard that.
Oh, on your phone. Oh, on your phone.
My phone. Yeah.
Your ringer on my phone. Your ringer on my phone is just like that. Oh shoot! It's Bush.
By the way, Paul, I was the guy who was trying to get in touch with John for 2 days and couldn't because he had his ringer off.
He understands.
Right. I keep my ringer off, but I check my phone periodically. You see, the key is to check the phone.
It's not like we do a TV show every week that thousands of people watch.
During the next break.
That's not.
I had the grandkids. All right, Nick. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Nick.
We really appreciate it. We'll be in touch. Let's do some stuff together.
Sounds like a plan to me. I love it.
You're doing great work.
Thank you so much.
Beaver Creek, Nick Magato.
Magato. No, I don't think Nick is from Beaver Creek, but it's so much fun to say.
I just like saying Beaver Creek.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so are we going to break now?
Yeah, we can go to break, or we can, Bobby, do you have some of our flyers?
Hey, Bobby. Bobby went home.
Yeah, I got flyers, but a lot of them have prices on them.
Are we talking about the fundraiser?
Is that something we
on
can't
the 26th?
do?
Are we talking about that? Let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about the fundraiser on the 26th.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday night.
The world famous
Governors Comedy Club in
Levittown. The Maine Governors.
The Maine Governors. We are trying to pack the place. We still have some tickets available.
Big lineup.
It's a good lineup.
Les Deegan, John Butera.
Les Deegan, John
Megan
Butera.
Hanley.
And then we have two headliners, Megan Hanley and John Ziegler. And I'm emceeing the show. Wonderful charities, general needs. They supply basic stuff to homeless and needy veterans: shoes, boots, socks, shirts, mattresses, pots and pans if they find them a home. Wonderful organization. Terry Farrell Foundation does something similar to what Nick does.
Yeah. Nick Magato?
Yeah.
From Beaver Creek?
From Beaver Creek. On a much greater scale. They buy equipment and trucks around the country. Who else we got? We got Heather Pendergast Fund. They help Long Island volunteer firefighters with sick children and high medical bills. And then the last charity, other than Laughter Saves Lives, is Fight for Firefighters. They build ramps for free. They come in for a disabled firefighter and their family. In one day, they build 30 guys come in and they build a ramp for free. Amazing work. Amazing work.
Incredible.
So that's Wednesday night.
John was going to go and help, but they asked him not to.
Yes, they tend to keep sending us money. Don't come near our ramp because I can't do anything.
Exactly. John showed up with a skateboard and they're like, John, it's not that type of a ramp.
Exactly. Rich Walker and I went to help Rescue Family Inc. They refurbish houses for disabled people or whatever.
Okay.
So Rich and I showed up with a check and we grabbed the hammers and we went in there, and they called us the next day and said, listen, it took us 2 hours to fix what you guys screwed up. We had the drill in there. Richie and I, we thought we were doing good work.
Yeah, apparently not. Do you walk in with like the big check, like the?
Yes, we got a big check.
We have two big checks, don't we?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I think we have two. Just some of our regular viewers who are on tonight.
Yeah.
Patrick McDonald, Pat's always on. Mickey Delaney, Tracy Harper. Tracy Harper. Go ahead.
You know who Tracy Harper is?
Who doesn't know who
Tracy Harper? She's our PR lady. She's our PR lady.
Yeah, I'm not singing the PR song. That's
all right. So what are we doing here? We're gonna bring Ed on, or we're gonna wait for?
We're waiting for Bert.
We're gonna wait for one. We don't want to bring Ed in, and then we'll.
Let's go to commercial because we're gonna bring our surprise guest in, who you keep saying his name. We're gonna bring our surprise guest in when Jack is on. So
you mean Ed?
Yeah, and Ed, but Jack
too. He was a catcher for the New York Mets. Ed,
you're just gonna blow it up like that.
Oh, if there's two Met fans watching, they better have it by now.
We're trying to keep the audience engaged.
All right, let's go to a break, and we'll bring back. We'll bring Jack out anyway. We'll bring Jack out too.
Let's get him out of here.
Let him get some FaceTime.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Rossi.
And I'm Arthur Lee, the creator of LifeVac.
We're here today to announce that to date, LifeVac has saved hundreds of lives of people who almost died due to choking.
People may not realize that on average, 14 people a day die from choking-related incidents. Every 5 days, one of those lives is a child. That's why I created LifeVac.
And as a new mom, and from housewife to housewife, I felt compelled to share with you the discovery of this life-saving device.
LifeVac is a simple-to-use airway clearance device. Just place, push, and pull to save a life.
And it costs less than it would take to fill up your car with a tank of gas. Imagine being able to save a life for less than $70.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
That's LIFEVAC.net.
Please don't allow one of your loved ones to become the victim of a choking accident.
And we're back. Joining us is Jack Clunan, FDNY EMT, comic, Met fan. In fact, I was banned from Citi Field because every time I went this year, they lost. Jack told me I wasn't allowed to go anymore, so I couldn't go to any more games this year.
Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Waited too long.
Let's bring right out our next guest because he just came in here. We've had him on once or twice, and when we say come on back on the show, we mean it. We mean it.
You mean it.
From the original Batman and Robin,
You're
please,
kidding me.
Burt Ward is here tonight again.
Wow.
Again.
There he is.
Hello, citizens.
I thought
You must be a
kidding me.
glutton for punishment, Burt.
Yeah, I'm true. I got plenty on Batman, and I'm expecting to get some more tonight.
All right. Good to have you back. How's everything? Good?
Oh, wonderful. You know what they say, the first 100 years are the hardest. So, after that is pretty smooth sailing.
Well, we love to have you back. You're always a great guest. Paul Anthony's here tonight.
How are you, Burt?
Jack Clunan, who's an EMT with the FDNY and a comic. So they may have some questions because I know I asked you a lot of questions the last few times. But we have Halloween coming up. Now, you're a big animal advocate, right?
Yes, yes.
And I know but people may have been watching the last time. Give us a little background on what that's all about, what you do.
Well, on Batman, Batman and Robin went around saving lives in Gotham City. And after the show, my wife and I have been inspired for the last 28 years to save dogs and cats and actually some other animals. But we focus mainly on dogs. And for the last 28 years, my wife and I have saved more than 15,500 dogs. Everyone would have been put to death. Primarily giant breeds. Those are the ones that have the shortest lifespan. Great Danes, St. Bernards, Irish Wolfhounds, like that, Mastiffs. So in the course of saving so many lives, we saw how short their lives were. And big, wonderful, sweet, loving, gentle giants, that's what they're known for. They're so big and yet so gentle. So what we decided to do is to try to help them live longer. Because think of it this way, there's 80 million dogs in the United States and 67 million households. And, dogs is man's best friend. So we developed a special way of feeding and caring for dogs. And we developed a food unlike any other dog food in the world. It's called Gentle Giants. It's my wife and my charity. We don't take any salary from it. But what's really valuable is for people that love their dogs and want them to be with them many years longer. We've got dogs now living up to 27 and a half years. Wow. And with new cat food, up to 32 years. And to my knowledge, no one else has been able to do it. And here at our rescue, we always have about 50 in our house. And right now, our breeds are the giant ones that normally live anywhere 6 to 8 years, 7 to 9 years. And right now, the youngest dog I have here is 14 and a half, which means that almost all of my dogs have already doubled their average lifespan. And it's because of the way we feed them, and it's because of the food, Gentle Giants, which is available all across the country, online, Chewy.com, Target.com, Petco.com, PetSmart.com, TractorSupply.com, and our own website, Gentle Giants. Dogfood.com. This is our charity. And, it's great because when you have literally now, I think we have about 500,000 people that every single day they feed their dog Gentle Giants. And believe me, we hear 1,100 people a week call us to say things like, I can't believe it. I have a different dog after a month of feeding your food. And thank you so much. And, it's heartwarming, but for us, it's our charity, and my wife, Tracy, and I, the way we look at it is we want to leave this planet better off than the way we found it.
That's the bottom line. Yep. So what's so special about the food, Burt? I don't know if it's a special recipe, but what's so special about it?
2 gigantic things that you don't find with other dog food. 2 gigantic things, not little, gigantic.
Okay.
One of them is anybody that has a dog, all you have to do, go pick up some of your dog's food. And it doesn't matter if it's been the least expensive food that you got at a grocery store or the most expensive food that you got at a pet store. Because in one respect, they're all almost the same. Feel those kibbles in your fingers. Rub them with your fingers. Put them down, rub your fingers together. You're going to feel a greasy feeling. That's because dog food is sprayed with animal fat. That's not healthy. That animal fat coats dog food, and that also coats arteries and intestines and shortens lives. All the time I tell people, I ask them, Would you take a can of bacon fat and pour it down your garbage disposal? Oh, of course not. Why wouldn't you do it? Oh, it would clog it, and I have to have a plumber come out. Well, when you realize that animal fat will ruin a metal garbage disposal, what do you think is happening to your dog's arteries and intestines? And of course, that begs the question, well, why would anybody do that? Why would they put dog fat inside, fill the food with fat, coat the food on the outside with fat? Because guess what? It makes animals eat more food. And when they eat more food, you have to buy more dog food, don't you? And it's all about, in my opinion, all about money. For my wife and I, it's all about life. So
what's the second thing?
You know, in the United States now, our food supply has been 98% genetically modified. You know, you see these commercials on television like Roundup where people are coming down with cancer and things, the stuff at Lejeune, you know, the marine-based people coming down with cancer. Well, our food supply has got GMOs in it, 98%. And what is that? Well, actually, think of it this way. If you're a farmer and you grow, let's say, rice, it gets attacked by pests. And when you spray the pesticide, it not only kills the pest, but sometimes it kills the plant. But by mixing the DNA of the plant with Roundup, the very thing that you hear about causing cancer, guess what? When they spray it with pesticide, the plant lives and it produces the rice. But just like rice and every other vegetable or fruit, it absorbs the pesticide. And when your dog eats it, I mean, I've got a video. I'd invite all of your viewers and listeners to go to Gentle Giants Dog Food, go to our non-GMO section, and there's an 8-minute video that everyone should watch. And the reason it's so important, we didn't produce it. We took it from a research site on how humans and animals are affected by genetically modified food. And what makes this video so important is that everyone interviewed is a veterinarian. And they all say the same thing, which is 10, 15, 20 years ago, they'd see one patient, dog or cat, a month that had cancer. Now, every single day, 1 out of every 2 patients is cancer, and they blame it on the GMOs. We're one of the only ones, if maybe the only food that is non-GMO certified. No genetically modified organisms in our dog food.
Impressive.
Wow.
Impressive. You got a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first of all, it's the Gentle Giants Rescue, correct?
Gentle Giants Dog Food. We have 2 companies, Gentle Giants Rescue and Adoptions, which is like United Way or Muscular Dystrophy. It's a 501c3 IRS designated charity with permanent charitable status. That's our rescue. Our dog food, you can't put a potentially profitable thing into a charity. So that is Gentle Giants Products is our other company. So we have.
I do have a couple of questions.
Ask him about the main reason he came on. I think it was about Halloween. You wanted to talk to us about.
Oh, sure. If you want to talk about Halloween.
Did you want to say something about Halloween and pets?
Well, obviously Halloween, you've got, you know, it's you have to be careful with pets. You know, everybody says, oh, you know, my dog would protect me and everything, and they will. A dog will lay its life down to protect you. But as a pet parent, you have a responsibility to protect your dog by not putting your dog into a situation where your dog could be harmed. You have to understand, humans think differently than dogs. Humans have the ability to think like, well, that's not all bad, that's not all good. You know, in other words, shades of things. Right. Dogs don't think, they think in absolutes like friend or foe, good or bad. And it's really important that you don't put them in a situation that they get frightened, okay? Because if they get frightened, they turn around and look at you and they say, well, this is my pet parent, but my pet parent doesn't protect me. Therefore, I'm going to have to start becoming aggressive to protect myself. And that's why you get dogs that bite people. The other thing is that when you have dogs, okay, you really want to pay attention, especially as puppies. It's just like with humans. If you don't watch your kids when they grow up, they can go in a direction that you don't want. And the same thing with an animal. Animals are born innocent. It is us. It is not the breed of dog that makes a friendly or unfriendly dog. It's the people who raise them.
All right, good. I know Paul has another question. We only have a few more minutes. But I think you spoke about this before. You are so passionate and such a good speaker about this topic and so engaging. He does a great job. You had a question.
I found some interesting, some things fascinating about your background. First of all, you went to Beverly Hills High School. Is that accurate? Okay.
That's right.
And I understand that you excelled in martial arts, track, wrestling, tennis and golf.
Yeah.
But this was something I read about you that I just got to ask you if it's true. Is it true that you were rated as the world's fastest reader and that you could read 30,000 words a minute? Is this
with 90% comprehension?
Right.
The average reader reads only 240 words a minute with 40% comprehension. And this wasn't just in high school. This is also at UCLA. I was tested by the American Medical Society of Beverly Hills. And when I was tested, I read 30,000 words a minute, and I was tested with 90% comprehension. That really allowed me that. And people say, well, how fast really is that? Well, to give you an equivalency, the entire play of Macbeth, it's like reading that in 1 minute. Okay, it is. I read War and Peace, which is 1,442 pages in 45 minutes, and I got an A essay final at UCLA.
You know what I'm just thinking about? And then when you were on TV, it was like above your head. It's like pow, bam, wow, right? And this guy could read like.
Let me share with you a little inside. What happened was I never missed my line. Literally no, because I can instantly remember it. Right? I have photographic memory. Poor Adam. I loved Adam, but Adam, he couldn't remember his line. So they got him a teleprompter, and he couldn't always read the teleprompter. And sometimes he would turn to me and says, Bert, I need you to miss a couple of lines. You're making me look bad. I said, Adam, I can't go do that. I'm supposed to be doing my lines. I can't just blow a shot to make you look better. He said, well, you got to do something because I'm looking bad here.
Is that why Adam West always spoke so slowly when he read his lines?
That's true.
Well, you know, Adam and I had a special chemistry, and if you think about it, let's talk about comedy because you guys are all about comedy. In comedy, the great duos in history all had great contrast, right? Like Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Ed McMahon and Johnny Carson. I mean, great contrast. So with Adam and I, the slower he would talk, the faster I would talk. And balance that made it, and you know, it just worked. And he and I had this chemistry, you know, in 120 episodes, okay? Not once in 120 episodes with 32 different directors did any director ever tell Adam or I how to say a line. Not once. People are directed all the time on television. Oh, say that with more emotion, or do this, do that. Never were we told how to say a line.
Well, you about to interrupt. One more question. One
last question.
Is it true that Bruce Lee's first fight scene that was filmed, that you were in that scene?
Well, he fought me, and let me explain to you. He and I lived in the same condominium complex. Okay. We actually were friends. We used to spar together. That's like fighting, but pulling the punches. Okay, not full contact. And in fact, I remember with his wife and when Brandon was 6 months old, his son. We went down to Chinatown, had dinner, and of course, Bruce had lived in Hong Kong for 10 years, so he knew all the authentic things to order. But he and I, we sparred together. So when we did the show on Batman, which was his first filmed fight scene of his career. Okay, that's a piece of trivia. We were told, don't do it full on. This is a family show. Nobody's supposed to win. There's not supposed to be any blood. I mean, don't really hit. You can do it. This is to be something that is safe and family oriented, and that's exactly what we did.
That is crazy.
All right, we got to go. We have another guest coming on. You're amazing. I mean, I think you speak as fast as you read. Because you got so much information in there. It was great. We really love having you.
Well, thank you very much. And for your listeners or viewers in Texas, as of the 1st of November, we're going to be in HEB. They're beautiful stores all over Texas. So I hope all of them come out and get the Gentle Giants and help your dog live an extra 10 years longer.
Excellent, Bert. Thanks so much for coming back.
To the Batmobile, citizens.
That was great.
Burt Ward.
Right?
Wow,
that was great.
Crazy.
We have Jack Clunan here.
Yes, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, how's it going?
So Jack is going to bring out our next guest in a second.
Yep.
Yes.
And I would just like to say, listening to him, it reminds me
of
when we do a show with you, you come up to us and say, listen, guys, don't be that funny because you're going to make me look bad.
Yes. It's always important on a Laugh to Saves Lives show.
You never listen
Let
to
me
John.
be the funniest.
You never listen to him.
Yeah, so
you're always so funny.
But Jack is always very funny on the shows. Excellent writer. So tell us a little bit about who you're bringing on here.
So I'm bringing on a very good friend of mine. I'm a Mets fan, so I can say this did much better in the playoffs than our Mets just did. Thanks for blocking me out with the frame before I came up here. That's great.
There you go.
Did a lot better in the Mets than the Mets just did. He was on the 1986 World Championship team. He was the backup catcher. I met him because he ended up having 3 kidney transplants. I had 3 liver transplants, a whole lot of other stuff we have in common. So I thought, hey, let's bring the one and only Ed Hearn on.
Ed Hearn!
There he is.
Number 49? Number 4?
Well, I have to be very contrasting to the last guest and talk real slow.
And let me tell you something. He may talk fast and read fast, but he never caught a 95-mile-an-hour fastball like Ed Hearn.
I don't know. He probably did that too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we didn't get to that.
Thanks for being here, brother.
I need to get me some of that gentle giant food so I can live a couple more years, man. I mean, I got to talk to my wife about getting me some of that stuff.
I was thinking the same thing. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you become a New York Met? Where did you play? Where did you go? Did you go to play in college? What's different back then than it is now?
Oh, lots different. But I signed out of high school with the Phillies. I was drafted in June draft, 4th round, and worked my way up through that system, and then signed with the Mets and came up through the Mets. And lo and behold, World Series my rookie season. So it was really a fabulous year in '86, as you guys know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How many games did you catch? How many games did you start?
I think in '86, 30 or maybe 40. I don't know, 45. I was backed up Gary Carter, Hall of Famer. So, I was a rookie, and I had to just do my job whenever they called on me. And so, following year, I was traded to the Royals to be the starting catcher there. And, blew out my shoulder, but, that's a long story.
Before the Gary Carter trade, did you say, man, I may be the starting catcher on this team? And then they trade for Gary Carter?
Well, I mean, I think as a player coming up in baseball that you're not just playing for the organization you're with currently coming up in the minor leagues, because all the teams are always looking at other guys. And as it turned out, like me, I had a nice year backing up Gary there in '86, and Kansas City traded Dave Cone to the Mets for me to be their starting catcher here in Kansas City. So it doesn't, it's not like you're married to one organization forever.
Right, I didn't remember that. So you were starting catcher over there. Good for you. So Jack, how did you meet Ed? Tell us a little bit about.
So Ed wrote a book called Conquering Life's Curves. He was at Hall of Fame weekend 20 years ago. I forget the year. We used to go up every year. My aunt lived close by for Hall of Fame weekend, get autographs, meet the players. We're standing in line one day, and then my dad sees Ed has the Mets thing on the table. So he walks over, flipping through his book. He goes, hey, you had 3 kidney transplants? My son had 3 liver transplants. Oh, cool. Bring him over. We meet each other. Wow. Hall of Fame weekend is like hundreds of thousands of people up there. The middle of the sidewalk, middle of the day, we're just comparing scars with each other. And ever since that day, I've been annoying him every day.
You're both lucky to have each other.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. We have, I know Jack's my biggest inspiration. Jack has been through so much. And, my story's been kind of a penthouse to the outhouse and back journey as well with all my health issues. And Jack and I have been good friends for all these years. And, I keep pulling for this guy. And I even did 5 minutes of comedy one night with Jack there at some restaurant in Long Island.
Oh, did you?
Really? He's like, come on, Ed, do 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, I don't do 5 minutes, man. I'm a speaker, not a comedy guy. No, come on. Well, he knows Kung Fu and all that stuff. So he twisted my arm. And so I did 5 minutes before he did. And then he wouldn't follow me up after that. So you're talking about not showing somebody up, right?
I tell you, I always like watching him perform because he's a good writer, and the way he delivers the material is very different, and you talk about, I always bust his chops because I love him, but he's my hero. He's one of my heroes.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what we're going through now.
Well, I've had a few kidney transplants, and I had a careening shoulder injury, and then I lost my health in a big way. And like Jack, I've been battling for 30 years. And right now, I'm in end-stage renal failure. And probably the next week or two, I'm going to have to start on dialysis to keep me alive. And I'm looking for hopefully a living kidney donor. And somebody step forward and allow me to get back on the horse and do what I love. And that's making a difference in the lives of other people.
Yeah. How does that work with a kidney donor? Do you have does it be a certain blood type, or explain that to the people?
This is the wonderful advances here in the last 6 or 8 years in the realm of organ donation, especially in kidneys. You don't have to be a match. But what they do is they have a big database now called the Kidney Registry, National Kidney Registry. And if you guys wanted to give me a kidney, but chances of us being a really, really good match is like 1 out of 10. So you would end up giving kidney to somebody else, and that person might have a donor, and so we'd have this swap. And the match potential is so much better. And I tell you, I told a lot of people here is I travel around the country for 25 years speaking, kind of motivational, inspirational, use my journey to uplift people. But if I get another kidney here and can get back in the game, we have 125 to 130,000 people waiting for a kidney. And there's no reason for that. Today, with the advances in the matching of donors, it's just fabulous. People always say, well, I don't know if I'm a match. You don't have to be a match to help me. You don't have to be a match to help anybody now. They do all that through a big database. And it makes it much, much better for those of us who need a new kidney, especially a living kidney.
Yeah, I did not know that. You educated me.
You did pretty well. But just for the baseball fans out there watching, say it's like a 3-team trade essentially, where you may not match with Ed, but you might match with somebody else who needs a kidney, and then they might match with somebody, and then you basically go a 3-team trade. Everybody gets a kidney, and even since your last transplantation has come along insanely well. I remember when I was getting my first transplant, living donation was like frowned upon because donors were dying more than the recipients. But now it's almost like getting a flu shot. It's insane now.
Back 20 years ago when I had my last living transplant from a friend down in Florida, we went into kind of almost together, side by side surgical suites. And so it was he gave the kidney, and then they shipped him back to his room and they put it in me. Well, by the time I got back to my hospital room, my friend Chuck had walked down to my room, was waiting for me after they took his kidney out. That's 20 years ago. Just imagine how much better it is even today. He was back to work in less than a week back in Florida. So it's not a major, huge ordeal. Little small incisions, laparoscopically. It's just a tremendous thing. The problem is people in America don't know the advances and how easy this is to do. We're all most of us are carrying 2 kidneys, 1 extra that we don't need. So that might be my final purpose in life, is to get out there and educate America about, removing all these people off the waiting list. I mean, 13 to 14 people die a day waiting for the gift of life.
Wow.
And it's so simple. If people just understand it, step up to the plate, donate a kidney to somebody, then the other person would get it. It's just a really, really slick thing these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speechless almost. I mean, it's very moving. You educated me. I don't think a lot of people realize you have 2 kidneys.
Yeah.
I think I knew that, but I don't think a lot of people really know that. So we wish you all the best of luck, Ed. We'll have you back on the show when you get that kidney.
And I know you guys can't see, but Ed is wearing an FDNY hat tonight.
I did see that.
Yes.
You did see that. Thank you for wearing that,
Ed. Of course. I married a girl out of New York, Long Island, Lindenhurst. She's a nurse, and we've been together 34 years, and she's kept me alive. And her last boyfriend prior to me was a firefighter on Long Island who passed away in 9/11.
Oh, wow.
So you guys, what you're doing is very special to my heart. It means a lot because, with all the 30 years of health issues that I've had, you guys are really right in what you're doing. Laughter does save lives.
Well, we'll end on that. We got to go, Ed. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Talking to you, buddy.
All right. All right, we'll laugh. That's Laughter Saves Lives. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our co-host for tonight, Paul Anthony. Thanks, Jack, for coming in. We'll see you next week. Butch, great job. Bobby, you're behind the scenes there. Great job.
I'll just say, if anybody's interested in looking into being a kidney donor, we'll put the link in the description for you. One click away, save a life.
Good night, everybody. We're going to the diner.
Leather gloves, we're slapping in hams, popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands, pink cotton candy, love on a stick, who's chasing the beer, that circle the lips, play ball, load up the bases and smack it right over the wall, play ball.